Hey y'all, welcome back. If this is your first time joining me, then just welcome. So, before I get into what I want to talk about, I just want to say I am no relationship counselor or guru of any kind. I'm actually just going off my intuition about what I talk about and what I feel, and I'm going off experience as well, which can also tie into what could be going on with the collective as well, or whoever resonates with this message. I just seem to be going more into the love aspect of everything instead of whatever else could be influencing our lives at this time. So if you would like to stay, then please do. And if you don't want to hear anything about love, then this isn't the right video for you. Now, I wouldn't say this is a podcast or a certain video, but of course, call it what you want. I don't really want to label it either. But let's get into the message, or should I say what I basically intuitively felt. And excuse my voice, it's in and out right now. I'm not sure what that's about, but let's get into this. So I wrote down, I have my notebook, by the way, so I won't get confused and I can stay on point about everything. I wrote down a word for thought. I think I'm going to call it that, word for thought, as far as what this message comes into, because I wrote the message first and then I wrote the message of thought afterwards, and then I was like, oh, okay, that ties in with everything, which was kind of weird because when you write something, you write the title first, or you come up with the title first. But for this, it's something I did backwards. So I was writing this down for myself first, and then I'm like, well, I know I can't be the only one who's feeling like this, because I felt like it was more of a collective thing or collective feeling as well. So it could be for one or two you guys, or no one, or it could be for a large select group. I'm not sure. But anyways, so the word for thought that I received was people pleaser. So I broke it down by what I felt, what it was, or what it could mean. So I felt like I broke it down by pleaser. So I heard plea, and I got state of being of validation. So you could be wanting to be validated in your relationship, or feel like you need to be validated in any kind of way by being recognized for what you do, and also asking for that validation, like, oh, am I doing this good for love? Am I doing that? Do I need to change it up? Do I need to switch it up to be or seen as someone who needs, or not even need, who is deserving of love? And then I did, I don't know why, but after that I heard by pleasing her. So this could be a masculine I could be talking to, where you need to do something a specific way, say a certain thing, or be a certain person to please your woman or please your man. If take it how it resonates, or flip it where it fits. It doesn't necessarily have to do with gender as well. That's just what I wrote down. this could be a woman as well. Like, you need to be a certain way for your girlfriend, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, husband, wife, or connection that you're in. So into the message, the full message. Some of you could I wrote down outgrew a specific type of love. So by that, what I meant or what I was feeling is what you thought love was is not what you think it is now. You're having that realization of what it is or what it's not. For me personally, I know what it's not, or let's say what I don't want from it, and what it should be and what it looks like to me, what I feel like it should be for me. It can be different for everyone because everyone has a different type of love that they want or that they see it as. You could probably think that love is anger, like when you're angry is equal to passion. Fussing and fighting to make up or make up because you fought and you were fussing and fighting about whatever the case may be. Thinking that highs and lows, ups and downs, crying, screaming, and explaining or over explaining and accepting the bare minimum could be your form of what you thought love was, because that was always what you were either, I don't want to say taught, but what you always experienced or what you've seen in your childhood or what you've done in your past experiences or past relationships. You thought these were the ways to show love, give love, and receive love. And for some of you, the bare minimum is the least that they could do for you to stay. Like, that was something that made you stay. Like, the bare minimum could be different for everyone, but let's just say for women, I know this probably is not what you think it is now, but the bare minimum could be like a text message or a phone call every other day. Like, they'll go ghost, but they leave you enough for you to stay, type of thing. But you know, like I was saying, the bare minimum could be different for you. Whatever it is, that's what kept you there. That's what kept you trying to see, trying to, you know, switch it up to see if things would change. And that's what you thought love was, or that's what you think love is, if this is happening to you right now. So I then wrote some things down that I did to switch it up from what I thought love was, or what could fit as far as what could be holding me back, which could be what's holding you guys back, or what could be, you know, what could fit in a way where you could fix in yourself, or what's been holding you back from getting or receiving the love that you actually want. So the first thing I wrote was feeling bad for speaking up, especially about what bothers me. So this could be something that some of you could be experiencing, or that you have experienced before. And when you do, or when you did speak up for yourself, that person or the situation either got worse, or they made you feel bad for speaking about your feelings or opening up to them or giving them like things they could change to make you happy because that's what you deserve, or that's what you knew that was supposed to be going on in that connection, and it wasn't giving them, it wasn't clicking to them in a way where it made you happy, you just stay because it's either the years, the bare minimum, or just things that you're used to and you think it's normal when it comes to receiving love when it's not. And the next thing I wrote down was considering their feelings over my own. So that's a really big one for myself. And I feel like when I was writing that, I felt that very heavy because it's like that's something that I felt like I was very selfish about doing, because if I didn't consider their feelings, I felt like I was being selfish. But don't feel bad for considering your own feelings, because that will actually keep you in that mindset of your feelings don't matter and theirs do, when you're giving, and they're not even giving you like a drop of whatever it is that you want. So you can always rely on yourself to give it back to yourself and not have to rely on someone else to fill that cup of whatever is missing out of what you want. So giving to yourself and receiving it from yourself is better than giving it or receiving it from someone who cannot. Not saying that they can't give it, but they're not considering your feelings, is what I'm saying. If they're not considering your feelings, consider your own, and don't think about them doing it for you. And the next point that I made when it comes to this whole situation with the love of I think I want to say giving to people and not giving it to yourself is forgiving so easily. Feeling bad for leaving afterwards. So first I want to get into forgiving so easily. So that's I want to say that's very common sense, but it's okay to forgive. Of course, we're supposed to forgive other people for what they do, for what they say, and how they act, because we know that we can't do anything about it, but we can forgive ourselves. Well, let's say we can forgive them for ourselves. We don't necessarily need to forgive them face to face. That's another conversation for a different day. But forgiving them so easily, like let's say they did something to you or they said something to you, and then like let's say you guys talk about it and you're like, okay, that's fine, I was just mad at the time. No, you keep that same exact energy to them. You can either tell them about themselves or, explain to them and tell them that it kind of hurts your feelings or it messed with you that whole day, and what didn't work, what they didn't work. So it's time to leave them alone because they crossed that boundary or that thing that you didn't like. So that's what I mean. I guess I can say that I guess it's about forgiving them for what they do so easily, like forgetting about it type of thing. I feel like with me, when I forgive, I actually forget about it and I just leave it alone and I let it go. Maybe that's what it could be as well. That's what I'm feeling right now as I say it, because someone, if you're listening to this, that's probably how you feel as well. But once you forgive them, don't forget about it. Let them go. Don't feel bad for letting them go because of the line that they crossed or for something that they said to you. Because once you let somebody say something or do something one time, they'll feel more comfortable to do it again or in a different way without you knowing or unknowing. So just leave that person once they show you exactly who they are. That's what I'm feeling right now when I say that. So don't feel bad for leaving them. Don't feel bad for speaking up about what they said or what they did, because in the long run, you dodged the bullet. They didn't. There's someone better for you, regardless. And for the last part of this section, so a very big thing that I did in my past relationships was I was waiting for a change or waiting for them to understand me in general. So waiting for change could be them specifically, or something like I was saying when it comes to considering their feelings. Like, okay, if we talked about it one time, they'll change it the next time, or they'll consider my feelings for not hurting me again. I can't speak for everyone, or I can't tell you what to do, because of course you have free will to do whatever you please or whatever you feel in your intuition, in your guts. But when it comes to your respect, or for your self-respect, or for yourself in general, for the good being, for the good of yourself, is what I want to say. Waiting for someone to change who does not want to change won't make them change any faster or any sooner, or when you want them to, because that will have you hoping and wishing and praying for a dead cause or a dead situation, because they're not, for one, considering your feelings, two, not putting you on their own I don't want to say pedestal, but for now we'll say pedestal, as much as you're doing for them. So they, or the situation or the relationship cannot grow if you're waiting for it. Yes, it can when you are working together, of course, but if it's a one-sided thing, then it's basically pointless, because the other person isn't willing to take you into consideration or make you a priority. I think that's the word I was looking for. And then waiting for them to understand me. When I wrote that out, it's like when I said in the what you think, what I said, what am I trying to say? What I said, what you thought or what you could be thinking what love is, explaining or over explaining yourself when it comes to a situation or relationship about a certain thing or something of the sort. Waiting for them to understand you is like you're trying to figure out if they'll ever give you what you want without actually telling them. Because in my own opinion, I feel like when you're in a relationship, that person, not saying they're supposed to know every single thing that you want, but they should know in some capacity of what you want, if that makes sense. Like, they should know what type of person you are, what you want from this, and what else comes with you. Like, waiting for them to understand you and what you want. That's what I'm feeling at this second. Like, for what you want, like, they should know what you want. Let me just say that. Like, they should know exactly how to treat you, or how you should be treated if this is your person. So when you're waiting for someone to understand you in a way that you wish they would, it's like it ties all into they're not considering your feelings, or they're not making you a priority. That's basically what it is. Like, I'm trying to come up with the words, like they're coming out real fast in my head, but I can't make them into words in a sentence. So that's why I'm so jumbled up. Like, my words are jumbled up right now because they're trying to come out faster than how I want to say it. So that's why I'm speaking like that. But they're not making you a priority when it comes to your feelings about the relationship or what you want. They're not making you a priority or your feelings a priority. when it comes to what you deserve or what you need from them. Not necessarily need, but would love to have or would love to receive. Because if you watch my last video or my last little rant about it, I was saying how wants over needs, your wants or needs in a relationship could be very, very different from a person who actually needs your love or your time and your energy. But I won't get into that. So if you haven't seen it or heard it, I suggest that you do. But anyways, so waiting for them to understand you is like asking them to make a big change they're not ready for, because anybody who is willing to change will change. But if you know that you've been with this person, let's say 10 years, and it's like, oh, that's just how they are. It's not really just how they are. They're just not putting you on the pedestal. They're not considering your feelings. They're not considering your emotions, your needs, your wants. They're being selfish, in my opinion. So we talked about what you think or what you thought love was, what you thought it was because of what you've been taught or what you've experienced. And then we talked about the what you think as far as what's holding you back from I don't want to say leveling up, because I heard leveling up, but I wasn't trying to say it. But I guess leveling up in love, let's say that. And at the last part, I put in questions like, what is it that sums up everything that I explained? What is it that needs to be, I don't want to say work on, but what needs to be highlighted in the situation, the love, the past relationships, what I tolerated, or what made me feel some type of way about a specific relationship in depth. So I put self-guilt, regret, feeling bad, boundaries, second guessing, self-doubt, and overthinking. So before I get into all the other ones, I want to say, in my opinion, I feel as though second guessing and self-doubt and overthinking kind of ties all in together into one, because once you start, this is how I was looking at it as I was writing these words down. Second guessing is like, once you start thinking about what this person is doing, let's use texting for example. You start second guessing if they liked you or if you're not good enough because they haven't texted you back. And then you doubt yourself as far as, because since you're saying, okay, they haven't texted me back in 4 hours, maybe I'm a talker, maybe I talk too much so or I text too fast, maybe I text too fast so they don't like that. So you start doubting yourself, like, okay, maybe they don't really like me because it's been 4 hours. And then you start overthinking, and then that goes on to why you think they're not texting you back. So I feel like that's all three of those tie into one, in my opinion, but it could be broken down into their own category or how you would see it. Boundaries, setting your boundaries, what you won't tolerate, and what you, I don't want to say what you will tolerate, but what you look forward to or what you want from it, the relationship or the connection. And I seen somewhere, I'm not sure where I seen this, but it said when you give when you set your boundaries for people, no matter if it's a relationship, a romantic relationship, or a platonic one, when you set your boundaries with people from the beginning, the people that are meant to stay will, and the people that don't respect them or don't want to go by your boundaries, they'll leave, and that'll be their loss, not yours. So I like that, because when I was younger, I knew what boundaries were, but I didn't really understand what they were for, why they were needed. And sometimes we can unconsciously give boundaries without even knowing. So I guess that's my way of giving boundaries, but I didn't necessarily set exactly what it was that I wanted from people, because I was thinking from a person that would use common sense, but common sense is not so common, and that's okay. I don't judge people, but sometimes everyone doesn't have common sense. So you have to give those boundaries so they know. It's like I'm hearing right now, they know exactly what they're doing. They're just trying to see how far you would take it with them if they keep doing it. That's what I just heard. So setting that boundary, and you also have to keep that boundary. You can't go back and forth between if you want it or don't want it, or whatever it is that you're setting in place, because that'll basically give you the bare minimum, the fussing and fighting, the highs and lows, because you're going back and forth between those boundaries, and you're doubting yourself, and you're second guessing this and that, and then that's when all of that, well, maybe they won't do it again, comes from. And self-guilt and feeling bad when it comes to I feel like that all ties into boundaries as well. So self-guilt and feeling bad for setting a boundary or giving people something that you won't tolerate. Don't feel bad about telling people how to treat, well, I won't say how to treat you, but in a way it is kind of telling people how to treat you or what you won't tolerate. So I guess you can say that, but in a way where you have more respect for yourself. So either they give it to you or not. That's how I look at it. Either they'll respect you, or they can kick rocks. Like a job, either you give me this time off because I asked for it, or I can go find another one, even though that's not everybody's and what everybody would agree on. But see it in the different lights, that you respect yourself enough to keep a boundary, like being honest. Set that boundary with that person, like, okay, I need honesty from you from this moment moving forward, because this happened, so I need you to be honest with me. And then some people, they lie not to hurt your feelings, but you have to get your feelings hurt to know the truth, to know who this person really is or how they really feel. So that's how you can look at it. If you feel bad about telling people how to treat you, I mean, I hate to say it like that, because it does sound kind of like you're gonna treat me like this or else type of thing. That's how I look at it. But in a way, it's like, okay, I'm doing things because I'm doing it this way because I respect myself enough to tell someone about what I want from a relationship or a connection. And I also want to put in that you can also set a boundary once a problem comes up in a relationship. I mean, that might not be the best thing to do, but people do what they want or whatever the case may be. Or you could just leave them alone. Of course, you could do whatever you see fits for your situation. Leave a person alone if they cross a line, of course. Don't stay in a situation where they they don't even have to do it more than one time. They could do it one time and then you'll be done. Do that if you're a person who doesn't do like second chances or look back again and again with a person because they did something one time. I'm not saying that, but if a situation, or if you see potential in a situation or a person, then of course you can just tell them that you didn't feel comfortable with this or that, or you feel like if this didn't work, then maybe we should do this, or maybe I should tell you that this isn't what I want from this. If you're willing to do this, then we could do it. If you're not, we can go our separate ways. And then the last thing that I want to say before I end this is I put my feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid no matter what. You feeling upset, your feelings are valid. Never let someone tell you that you're being oversensitive or you're overreacting. You're reacting that way because you're feeling your emotions. You're feeling your feelings. Don't let someone tell you that your feelings are not valid, because they are. And that goes into considering their feelings. Don't consider their feelings if they're not considering yours as well. And even if they're not, always remember your feelings are valid. So whatever you feel at that moment, at that time, or even if it's more than one time or multiple days that you're feeling mad, your feelings are valid. Just always remember to feel those feelings and then let it go. Always let it go, because if you hold on to those feelings, your feelings will we don't want your emotions to control you. We want you to control your feelings. I hope that makes sense, because I had to learn that when I was mad, and that I would do certain little things to make my partners mad, or feel how I will feel, or feel how I will feel at that time, even though I will of course regret it. But once since I'm getting older, I have to realize that what I used to do in those relationships, I can't do in my relationships as an adult, because it's like, when are you going to grow up? Speaking to myself, when are you going to grow up? When are you going to realize that what you did then was just being immature because you were upset, or because you were sad or mad? And in a way, it's like you're letting your emotions not control you. You're letting your emotions know that, okay, it's fine for me to be mad, but I won't do something that will make my boyfriend, girlfriend upset as well. And if that's the case with them and it's not you, then that person that person doesn't know how to control their feelings. And that's a problem in itself when it comes to the other person. And they need to know that as well. Don't let your emotions control you. You control your emotions, because at the end of the day, you control what you want from anything, anywhere, any person. So whatever you want, get it. Control that, because it's to a point where if you let your anger, I don't even want to speak on just anger. If you let your sadness, your anger, happiness, of course, but I'm really speaking on like I don't want to say the negative sides, but in a way it's sort of like, if you can control your anger and your sadness and the suppressing emotions, you'll feel way better, and it'll make you feel way happier, way upbeat, and way more relaxed once you know how to control those other feelings that make you feel sad, mad, angry, etc. So it's in a way where you can, what if you always want to be peaceful, happy, and have a lot of joy. Of course you have to feel that anger, that sadness, that those other feelings. I don't know what else is after sadness and madness. I'm not sure, but in that unhappy phase, I want to say, let's just say unhappy phase, feel that phase for a minute and then relax and let it cool off and just regroup yourself, think about it, why you were mad, what made you mad, what made you sad, whatever it is. Your feelings are valid, okay? Don't let no one tell you that they are not, or make you feel like they're not, because they are. I had to learn that at a younger age, but now that I'm a little older, I know exactly what that means, because you control your feelings. I control my feelings. I don't let my feelings control me. That's a big one. Never forget that. So, with that being said, I hope in some way that this resonated with you, or it resonates with you in some way. And that's all I have for this little rant. And I hope that you can take it and learn in some type of way from what I say. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next one.